Well, social grants will be paid on the 1st of April, and that's the word from the Minister and her department, Sassa. Minister Dlamini was in Parliament today where opposition parties called for her head.
She was backed, however, by fellow ANC MPs and ruling party supporters in the public gallery.
It's a sensitive matter affecting millions, therefore an important political platform. But it's become an emotional issue as well. The IFP, which called for this debate, accused the ANC of just not caring anymore.
The IFP therefore proposes the following as a way forward. Firstly, the Speaker must institute sanctions against Minister Dlamini for having misled this House in November last year when she told us that her department was on track to pay grants themselves. The IFP will request the establishment of an ad hoc committee to probe the illegalities and corruption pertaining to the CPS tender and the crisis at Sassa.
Bathabile Dlamini and her party, however, don't believe there's a crisis.
Order.
Dlamini attributed the entire debacle to opposition efforts to remove the ANC.
The opposition claims that there is a crisis at Sassa. Is therefore nothing more than a mere self-serving propaganda and political grandstanding of the highest order. They must stop with their scare campaign, which has caused public panic and anxiety.
And the ANC stands by her.
Let me educate you about the ANC. It is the ANC that has put poverty eradication as the top priority in their manifesto.
Most opposition parties questioned the minister's conduct.
With 2.5 weeks to go until the current invalid contract with CPS expires and no alternate plan to ensure grants will be paid, this is an unbelievable example of recklessness and hopeless inability of Social Development Minister Dlamini, who has put the livelihoods of millions of our people at risk.
It is a fact that the Minister Bathabile Dlamini has done everything in her powers, including undermining the Constitutional Court, to ensure that the country has no other option but to continue with the unconstitutional and illegal contract with ECPS.
The NFP reiterates its position that government should not be allowed to outsource its responsibilities to private sector. It is the function of the government to look after the welfare of our people.
Under normal circumstances, this matter should have been occasioned by an investigation of a Judicial Commission of Inquiry. However, knowing who has to effect such an inquiry, we may as well forget about it. Hence all hope is pinned on the Constitutional Court.
The situation in your department is out of control. Aren't you aware of that? But the minister comes here and tells us it will be paid on the 1st of April and we don't have to worry. That's not the point. You are missing the whole point.
We have here a government which does not respect the law and or the courts.
Now, this situation has now opened the President to further speculation that Minister Pravin Gordhan is being set up to take the blame.
The AIC is disappointed that the Minister has failed in her executive function to oversee that Sassa complies with the Constitution or Constitutional Court order.
Honourable members, let me explain why the Minister must be fired. Dereliction of duty and negligence, trust deficits and deficiency of leadership. To stop this nightmare that is engulfing our nation, if the ANC does not want to fire this minister, let me fire her right now. Honourable Minister, you are fired into our conscience and hearts of our people.
So the issue is not about payment, more than it is about whether such payments will be done legally or not. Money to pay grants is there. What is missing is a contract with a service provider. Why do we not have a contract 2 weeks before the expiry of a 5-year contract? Is a product of a well-orchestrated, cynical plot to hold the country beholden to the infamous and controversial CPS company. For this, Sassa, the Department of Social Development and the Minister must be held solely responsible.
Despite Gordy saying the post office is the preferred option to pay out grants, Dlamini insisted that neither the post office nor the country's banks were in a position to do so. She maintains that CPS is the only viable option. Abra Babia, SABC News, Parliament.